Good morning, divine, beautiful soul. Today we start off the day. I'm being told we're gonna take us outside here on my east side deck. Oh, we can hear a big old truck going by. There's the highway right there, if you could see. There's only a couple places where you can see cars. Sometimes you can hear them, but definitely not see them. There. Did we catch it? There. The big rigs definitely send off a lot of noise and vibration. Oh, dogs have a ball down there. Hey! Hey, come here. Go get your ball. Your ball's down there. Go get it. Go get your ball. Yeah, your ball's right there. Go get it. Go get it, Bubba. Your ball. There you go. Good boy. Thank you. He's like, oh, I forgot that there. What was I thinking? I forgot that? Did I forget that? All right. Cora is still out. Shocker. Whew, definitely warmer in here. It is cold. Cold. I think it's around, 40. I think that's cold. And it's definitely just, crisp and a little bit of wind. Not a whole lot. Nothing like what Southern California is dealing with. Here in Northern California, we don't have those desert winds. Woo! Chilly willy! Okay, so today we're going to do a couple of things. Welcome. Welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. I'm Infiniti. This is the daily Trinity River Sunrise channeled messages with Infiniti. Today is the full moon, the first full moon of the year. It is the 13th of January. It's exactly a month since my birthday on the 13th of December and the weekend that I moved to this beautiful, amazing, magical, spectacular space that I just am so stoked on. And there's a couple things we're going to do today. There is this book called Simple Abundance, a Daybook of Comfort and Joy by Sarah Ban Breathnach. It's an interesting name. So if you're after a certain age, you'd have to be like in your 40s or 50s to really know this or remember this, because this book came out in 1995. That was the year my son was born. So yeah. It is 2025. So this is an old book, but it goes day by day, and it is basically her sharing things about a certain theme or topic, and it goes month by month, and it does follow the seasons, and it's really cool. And I was guided to check out what today's was for January 13th, and it's Gratitude Awakening the Heart. My eyes are open. By E.E. Cummings. That's her quote for the day to go along with whatever oracle card I get, as I am supposed to do that as well. They're supposed to go together, so we shall see how that turns out. And I'll get into that. Oh, there's Cora. Perfect. Before I get started. Hi, Hi, boo. She's like, it's still smoky in here. I know. I lit some sage, or she doesn't like it. I'm sorry. I didn't want to air it out too much. I just spent the last hour getting it warm in here. It was freezing in here. It was 54 degrees in here this morning. Yeah. And some days it takes a while to get a fire going. Some days they start pretty easily. Today it was really labor intensive. I don't know what my problem was or what the problem was, but it took a hot minute to get that fire like really going. And actually I haven't checked on it. I should do that because I left the door open. Oh, I just tripped on my foot. Perfect. I will go check on my fire real quick because it was clear that it needed more air for, okay, there we go. Now it's really going. If I didn't leave the bottom door open for it to bring in a lot of air to keep the fire going, it would just keep going out. But after a certain amount of time, it really burns through your wood. Whew, so there is a happy medium there. And yeah, fire is my main source of heat. I do turn on my oven, get that going, bring it to like 4:30, and then let that hot air come out for like 10-15 minutes, and then I turn it down to 100, keep it open just a little bit. Yeah, because it can be really cold in here in the morning. Okay, so anyway, we're going to read Gratitude, Awakening the Heart. The eyes of my eyes are opened by E.E. Cummings is the quote. And this one's a kind of like, they're all around the same length. Some are a little bit shorter, some are a little bit longer. This one is definitely on the longer side, but it's still not long. Okay, Gratitude, Awakening the Heart. Has this ever happened to you? You pick up a book and a sentence leaps off the page as if it had been written just for you. Or you hear a revelation in the lyrics of a song. Sometimes an angel seems to whisper in your ear. One ordinary morning, I realized I was emotionally and physically exhausted from concentrating on things I wanted to buy but couldn't afford. I felt trapped in a vicious cycle. The more I focused on lack and on what I couldn't have, the more depressed I became. The more I focused on lack and what I couldn't have, the more depressed I became. The more depressed I became, the more I focused on lack. My soul whispered that what I really yearned for was not financial security, but financial serenity. I was still, quiet enough to listen. At that moment, I acknowledged the deep longing in my heart. What I hungered for was an inner peace that the world could not take away. I asked for help and committed to following wheresoever spirit would lead me. For the first time in my life, I discarded my 5-year goals and became a seeker, a pilgrim, a sojourner. A sojourner. I'm not familiar with that word. That's an interesting word. Sojourner. Okay. When I surrendered my desire for security and sought serenity instead, I looked at my life with open eyes. I saw that I had much for which to be grateful. I felt humbled by my riches and regretted that I took for granted the abundance that had already existed in my life. How could I expect more from the universe when I didn't appreciate what I already had? Immediately, I made an inventory of my life's assets, my health, my wonderful husband, a beautiful and happy daughter, their health, our home, small but comfortable, and 3 precious pets who daily bring me faithful companionship and great joy. There's always plenty of good food on the table and wine in the pantry. We are also blessed with many wonderful friends who care deeply about us and share in our lives. Once I started, my list grew. I loved my work. It was being sent out into the world and had been well received. Many women had let me know that my first book had enriched their lives. I truly believe that what you give to the world will be returned to you. Maybe not all at once or in the way you expect it, but if you give your very best, the very best will come back to you. Now was the moment to live my beliefs. When I looked at my life's ledger, I realized I was a very rich woman. What I was experiencing was merely a temporary cash flow problem. Oh my gosh, this is hitting home. Finally, I came to the inner awareness that my personal net worth couldn't possibly be determined by the size of my checking account balance. Neither can yours. It doesn't matter how awareness arrives. What matters is that it comes. My heart began to overflow with gratefulness. I started giving thanks for everything. Daisies in a jelly jar on my kitchen windowsill. Oh, I got a rainbow right here on the page for my sun catcher. Oh, I love it. I started giving thanks for everything. Daisies in a jelly jar on my kitchen windowsill. The rainbow on my page from the sun catcher. The sweet fragrance of my daughter's hair. The first sip of tea in the morning. A pork roast with apples and cranberries for Sunday supper. Hearing the words, I love you, before I went to sleep. Each day, it's just so sweet. Each day began to offer me authentic moments of pleasure and contentment. But hadn't they before? The difference was that I was now noticing and appreciating each day's gifts. The power of gratefulness caught me by surprise. All I ask you to do today is to open the eyes of your eyes and give your life another glance. Are your basic needs met? Do you have a home, food on the table, clothes to wear? Is there a regular paycheck coming in? Do you have dreams? Do you have your health? Can you walk, talk, see the beauty that surrounds you? Listen to the music that stirs your soul or makes your feet want to boogie? Do you have family and friends whom love you and who you love and who love you? Then pause for a moment and give thanks. Let your heart awaken to the transforming power of gratefulness. Be open to exchanging your need for emotional and financial security for serenity. Be open to exchanging your need for emotional and financial security for serenity. No trumpets sound when the important decisions of our life are made. Agnes DeMille reminds us. Destiny is made known silently. Oh, this is so great. I could feel the love for her life in this one here. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, weird. This book doesn't have numbered pages. That is bizarre. What a trip. Sorry, it is. I'm like, what page is this on? There's no numbered pages to this book. And it's a big, big fat book. What a trip. Okay. Yeah, I could just feel the shift in her, this story, really, the energy of that really comes true. This really was as close of an account to what happened as she could tell it, and with keeping it, short and sweet. And it did come through to her. You're not focusing on the thing, on the actual thing. It's kind of like all my life when I thought I was afraid of heights, and I wasn't. I was afraid of falling from any height. 3 inches, 3 feet, 30 feet, 300 feet, 3,000 feet, 30,000 feet. I was afraid of falling, not the height. I actually really like being up high. Like right now where I sit, I'm in front of this window on a cliff. Literally on a cliff, over 500 feet to the river that I could see. And I love it. I love actually being up high, and the perspective is amazing. Those of us that are really conscious divine incarnates like heights, and we like going fast because we can really tap into our bodiless forms, and we are very high most of the time and move very quickly most of the time. That's why we like to drive fast and be high and look out the windows of planes and stick our foreheads against windows, and for if we happen to be up in a really, really high building. Anyway, sometimes we get confused with what it is that makes us uncomfortable, and our perception needs to be brought into focus so we can really see what the issue is. And here her issue wasn't that she didn't have financial security. She did. She clearly did. She didn't have financial serenity, and she wasn't really paying attention to all the beauty and magic and all that the universe and her guidance, whether she realized it or not, brought to her, which was quite a lot. And it's true, when you start to really pay attention to just all the beauty in your life and how much there is to be grateful for, no matter, a lot of circumstances, even if you minus what, her whole thing about having a home, and, a lot of people lost their homes recently in the LA fires that are still going on. It's continuing. So a lot of people would say, no, actually, I don't have a home, and I barely have any clothes, and I lost most of my shit. Well, then you can be grateful that you didn't lose more, and that you're alive, and you can get all new shit. And you can be happy that you had that shit to begin with and enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you find yourself not looking back and going, I didn't appreciate that enough when I had it, well, then you get a second chance to be really grateful for the shit that you have moving forward. And for those of us who didn't lose our shit, be grateful for it right now, that you have all of your belongings, no matter how old or how new. And hopefully all of it really means something to you. And if it doesn't, then get rid of it. Choose to let go of things that don't belong, and be really grateful for the things that do belong, that do bring you joy, that do bring you the sense of this really matters in my sacred space. And if it doesn't, then choose to either part with it, or that you're going to replace it with something that does as soon as you can. And you want that to come through. You want to have upgrades. And follow the steps of your guidance in every which way in your life to be grateful of the beauty and the magic that you've already experienced. And that's how you get more. Because like she said, how could I expect the universe to bring me more if I'm sitting here angry about what I don't have instead of being grateful for what I do have. You have to expand your consciousness, your awareness, your perception of the magic in your life in order to get more and more and more, and be grateful of what you have. I mean, I go to sleep every single day just thinking about how blessed I am and just how amazed I am by the magic, and how I'm never not expecting more magic to come, because I've already experienced so much magic and so much beauty and so much amazing experiences and guidance and things that I've seen and been connected to. And when I'm told that it's barely just begun, I'm like, I fall to my knees and I just say, I'm ready for more. More, please. If there's so much more, then more, please. And I'm so grateful for what I already have, what I've already experienced. And if it's time for something to leave, then it's time for something to leave, and I let it go. Well, we have a card that isn't a card, which in fairy, this is probably one of these. So we get two cards. The Queen of Owls that came through kind of sideways. Oh my goodness. So let me show you. In this fairy oracle, The Heart of Fairy by Brian and Wendy Froud, which it is a very, very magical deck and not usually used for general readings. Hardly ever do I use this deck or the other fairy deck by Brian Froud for general readings. But in this deck, as a birdie just, and again flew by. Is it going to... Okay. There are cards that don't have a description, that don't have a name, that don't have a number, that just have a scene. So I will take you through it here. And then we have the actual card, the Queen of Owls. Why it doesn't want to... There we go. Brian is super duper connected to the Fae, and they come through to him in visions, and he paints them, and his paintings are truly beautiful. So where do owls sit with you in your life? With me, they're big time. They are ever since my spiritual awakening and this whole journey, although I'm super duper connected to all of the animals, the owl was the one who really was the very first one to come for me with Gaia, as part of my soul blueprint, as part of the Archangel Gabriel blueprint. Owls are extremely integrated into that blueprint, and so owls were coming at me hard and fast in every which way. And I have countless owls in my sacred space. I really don't know how many. I am going to do a post and a video at some point taking pictures of them all. And I still have to unpack a lot. So look out for that. Okay. So card number 6, the Queen of Owls, physical healing, wholeness, wellness. This is the bright queen of physical healing. When the physical body is unbalanced or in pain, it can be difficult to find a connection to anything other than that pain or disease. Relationships can falter and fail when all of your attention pivots on dealing with pain. When your physical body becomes the only thing you can focus on, turn to this bright and gentle being. She radiates wholeness and wellness and can help you find the inner strength you need to come through disease into healing and health again. The pain is real, the disease is real, but the power to heal is real and within you as well. Concentrate on her image and reconnect with the healing energies of Fairy. On page number 17, which is an 8, and this is a 6, which in reverse is a 9. That is coming through. There's a lot of like mirrored shit with Fairy. And the thing that's coming through here is if you're in need of physical healing, please know that the one you're listening to right now, Infiniti, me, is one who helps with physical healing, but not just physical healing, spiritual healing, emotional, mental, energetic, and abundant healing. The theme for 2025 is healing. And one of the things that you can do to start healing right away is to be grateful for what you do have, what is working, what's not hurting, what an amazing, beautiful body you have. And I'm being guided to direct you to the Body Love Spirit Walk on my website. And it's called Body Love and Meet Your Guardian Angel. And the more connected you are to the angelics, starting with your guardian angel, who has always been with you since the moment your soul sparked, and with you in every incarnation, with you through every moment of your life, like a Siamese twin, absolutely guiding you, absolutely being there, whispering in your ear, just like she said. Absolutely, all the time. You think your ideas are your own? They're not. You think that gut feeling is just your gut? It's not. So tap in with the truth of the matter is, Divine Incarnate, is that you don't come to do this alone. You come with a being that is absolutely meant to be there, to be your voice from the other side, the voice from seeing things and knowing things from a totally different perspective that you can't. So you need help. You need help. We all need help. This is a very difficult and confusing realm. And most people are confused. And some people are possessed. And some people are conscious to a certain degree. But you're listening to somebody who was a very suppressed and unconscious divine being who went through a lot of pain because of how I feel being a psychic physical empath. I am very sensitive to energy, all energy, and the energy of people. And and can literally feel in my body what other people feel in their bodies, exactly how they feel it. And so if you multiply that by all the bodies that you're around in school, at work, the ones that you're most deeply connected to, and constantly cycling all of those energies, it's incredible how sick that makes you. And so I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was finally at 25. I think I was 25 or 26. My son was like 5 years old. And I had been living in hell basically my whole life, but it only got worse once I got pregnant, only got worse once I had my son. It was just like so much more intense. Now, I didn't know, and nobody knew that he is of me, and he is also meant to be a major player, an awoken, spiritually awake Divine Incarnate. He's very, very, very powerful. Also a psychic physical empath, but like he told me like how he would help his friends get rid of headaches by just like putting his hands on them and wanting their headaches to go away, and he would heal their headaches. And I'm like, what? And then, I mean, I believed him, I was like, that's amazing. Like, I didn't think I could do that when he told me that he could. And that's when I was spiritually awakening, and he really wasn't. Like he had been talking with spirits and seeing apparitions his whole life, and really didn't tell me until he was much older. And so had I, but I never told him either. And it was just like, we lived in a house that had a spirit, a little boy spirit that he would spend all this time with and talk to. And he would constantly like do things like take my keys and turn on faucets and flush toilets and like run up and down the stairs and do all sorts of shit like when my son wasn't around. And then when my son was around, like I would, he really didn't do stuff, and I was busy with my kid, and my kid would be also busy with this little boy. His name was Charlie. And apparently Charlie didn't really like me, or any adult for that matter, because he was abused and actually, saw his end to the hands of adults who should have cared for him, apparently. And, but my son could see him and hear him, and they would talk, and I'd be like, who are you talking to? He's like, oh, I'm just talking to myself. And I'm like, all right. Or he would make jokes like, oh, my imaginary friend. I'm like, I know that's not what he meant. But I didn't know, he was like being sarcastic about it. I know, it was just so funny. It was, I don't know, 14 years later when we actually had a conversation about that house and talked about Charlie and different incidents that happened, compared notes. It was fascinating. Anywho, there are beings, whether there are spirits who have and not crossed over and stay tied to a house. If I was really, awake and conscious and knew of my abilities and my sons, or, whatever, like I just, kind of like, yeah, this is life, and we got a ghost here, whatever. And I didn't mind it. It was, I talked to Charlie quite a bit. He was naughty. He was mischievous. That's really what he was. He was mischievous. But I would have, if I was really, turned on, I would have helped him cross over. But it would be another, oh gosh. At least, I don't know how many, 15 plus years after that, before I was really conscious, started to really be conscious and So yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, during that whole time in my son's entire life, basically, I was not well. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia when he was around 4, but I had been having all sorts of issues that came and went and were really serious, and I was on different medications and had a plethora of diagnostics and procedures done to try to figure out what the fuck was wrong with me my entire life. And things would come and go, and it would be like really like my body is behaving like there's seriously something wrong with me. And the doctors would, be like, but we can't figure out why it's happening. And so my mom would tell me, like, as time went on, she'd be like, I think you're a hypochondriac. I don't think there's anything wrong with you, because they can never find anything. Every test and every diagnostic and everything that ever is checked shows that you're fine. She would be so angry. And I'm like, I'm not making it up. You think I want to feel like this? But it would come and go. It was very confusing. I mean, it would be after I was 40 years old before I would understand that I was not only an empath, which I didn't even know what that was. Like, all of that was out of my consciousness, obviously for a reason. So I could understand what it's like to not understand. And then once I understood I was an empath, then a little bit, then it was like, oh, you're onto it here, sister. So you're onto it. And then eventually I would come to understand that I was a psychic physical empath. But then I was also would eventually, channel and download the fact that there is a spectrum of empaths. It's not just empath, one type. There's a spectrum. And the highest of the spectrum is the psychic physical empath, is the one who can feel in their body what other people feel in their body. And it's not to be tortured their entire life. It's so you can know what other people feel, so you can help diagnose it and heal it. There is healing that can be done on a physical, energetic level that's all connected to the energy of your emotions, of your mental state, of your programming, of your illusions, of the trauma that you experienced, of the people that you're around. This is all energy. We're in a matrix of energy. The problem is that you don't see it. You see trees and river and rocks and mountains and clouds and sky and sun. But you don't see the matrix of energy that is connecting everything, and everything as the birds fly by, how they're moving through the matrix of energy, and how what the energy is being given off by every single tree and the river itself, and the sun. We just see light, and we see the reflection of light, and we see shadow. But that's all we see. But there is a whole matrix of energy that all of us are connected to. And since the beginning of 2019, the abundance matrix of Gaia that is connected to her, it's the crystalline abundance matrix that is within her entire crystalline grid, has been in the positive state versus the negative state. And the fear-based material matrix has been collapsing. And this is why it's gotten so intense energetically. It's coinciding, of course, synchronizing with the age of Aquarius, which is the age of awakening, which is the age of higher consciousness and connecting to spirituality, leaving the underworld, going to the upper worlds. And understanding our power of being connected to the energy, the power of magnetism and manifestation and the law of attraction. People understand to a certain degree what is part of the law of attraction, but what people don't understand is it is completely connected to your vibration. And I talk about this a lot, that in order to really magnetize and manifest and attract what you really, really want and feel yourself like needing to experience, is directly proportional to your vibration, to your life force and the health of your life force. If there is disruption, chronic pain, disease, chronic issues, or chronic reoccurring issues, if you have to take medication, if they're monitoring you for whatever, then this means that you're not in alignment, you're not in balance, you're not healthy. And you need to be healthy to live your highest timelines, to be able to work with the universe on a consistent basis, to be able to communicate and hear and get clear guidance from your guides and guardians. My job and what I am here to do is to help make it known that this is all a thing, that they are supporting and loving us and giving us messages, that I can be the clear channel, that they can embody me, that we can do work together, that you can get guidance through me. But that's only supposed to be until you can get it for yourself. And then at some point it gets clearer and clearer and clearer what you're getting for yourself. That's when the training wheels come off, and you're kind of, you can ride solo, because you can hear and see clearly, you can have visions, you can really heal yourself. You've gotten to a point where whatever was wrong with you physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally, you have healed so much that you are so clear and so connected that there's no way that you can't be living a dreamy, magical life, because you're working in concert, in cohort, in collaboration with the very beautiful divine beings that are helping to orchestrate all of us living in that way and connecting and fighting the dark by being the light, by literally rising above the lower level fear-based material matrix that says you are in lack, that makes you, she had an awakening that day. Sarah, she had an awakening that day when she heard her soul go, "You're paying attention to the wrong thing." And it spoke to her because she immediately started seeing things differently. That is an awakening. That's why she talks about, what does she say? I see with, what is it about her eyes? That's about seeing. That's about perception. That's about awakening. The eyes of my eyes are opened. That's about awakening. That's about seeing. That's about being connected to the divine. Gratitude, awakening the heart. That's what she says here. This is her awakening. Awakening the heart. I mean, seriously. Hello? Says it right there. Like I said. And the Queen of Owls and me, I am kind of a Queen of Owls here, and I am one who can help you connect and to divine help and energy, and the energy system of yourself and all of Gaia and the nature and all the energies that we work with, from sacred geometry to crystals to elements to spirit animals to divine angelics and so on and so forth to bring in the medicine that you need. That is truly the definition of being a shaman. I also, in my human life, come from a lineage of shaman. My great-grandfather was a parapsychologist, but from Colombia, and there is a line of actual healers and shaman from my grandfather's side. I believe there's some of that on my grandmother's side, but I'm not as aware of it. But anywho, so as we move forward, this is, and we say it's come up so many times. This is 2025 is the year of healing. So your focus on healing and all the ways that means is going to most likely really be turned up for you. And there's no one right path to healing for everyone. It's very different. And I offer very many paths in working with me and the different groups and one-off sessions and long-term plans, and I have things that aren't even on the menu yet that are going to be on the menu very, very soon that I'm super stoked about. All of it is to support you healing, you raising your vibration, you getting better connected, you understanding what you're connected to, you understanding yourself, your body, your energy, how it works, what's all going on with the spiritual war, how it's played a part in your life, working with your energy cords. I have a course and membership that is all about learning how energy cords have affected you, what that's all about, how to dissolve, disconnect, cut energy cords to people, because they never go away until you do. People, situations, experiences, addictions, traumas, and reset with the energies that are currently in your life, the people that are in your life, how to reset those energy cords and why, and et cetera, et cetera. That is an excellent place to start for sure, because with each session that you do for yourself, and it's guided and managed with me, leading you on this journey of healing, and it's extremely important. It's extremely important. It's in my Evolve Now program. It is like the beginnings of getting things going with your program is cord cutting and the whole process of the cord cutting thing. And so, and it takes months to do all your cord cutting, because with each cord cut, it shifts you and your energy and your reality and your perception. And it's a process, and it takes time to integrate the energies that are coming back and sort those out within all the bodies and all the chakras, and literally rewire you. And you can only do like really at max, and this is at a fast clip if you do one a week. So it takes time. I don't really recommend doing one a week, but some people can handle that. Not very many. Actually just know one person. Of all the people who've done that, most it's like twice a month, because you need 7 to 10 to 14 days to integrate the energies and recalibrate to each energy cord as they get cut, and how when that energy comes back into the body and how it shifts everything. It's a real deal thing. It's not just metaphorical. It's not like take you through this emotional thing. It is emotional, but it's really energetic. And aside from that, there's this whole layer and component of understanding your story and the situations and people and experiences in it, through the archetypes and through tarot cards, which are archetypes, and also me helping and guiding to explain that process and those understandings to you. It's just another level of understanding, for another level of you to connect the dots in the puzzle of your life, to see things from a bigger picture, and understand the players who have, the characters who have been in your story, so you can understand yourself better, from the past, in the present, and moving into the future. So anyway, guided to just put that out there. It's called the Unstoppable Empath Course and Membership, and you can check that out on my website, under courses and programs and groups, or it's like one of those menus. So that is an excellent way to start healing, and it is not expensive. And I have a whole thing for people, if you're on a fixed budget, to partake of my groups at what you can afford. So there's really no excuse. I do have a regular, normal minimum donation, if that's, what you can, if that's where it's at for most people. But then there's some people who can't even afford that. And I've been there, so there's no shame in it. I'm here to help people heal the money wound and meet people where they're at. And that, means how much you can pay for things. And that's just a simple conversation with me, reaching out to me and saying, hey, I want to do this, but I can only afford, this much. I can't afford the full thing or the full minimum. And there we go. I believe that as you heal, in whichever way you're guided to heal and work with me, that you raise your vibration and you will become more abundant. You will have more money. There is no way around it. None of us are meant to live in lack. None of us are meant to not have enough. And I work with people on a sliding scale. Those who can afford more, pay more and donate more. And those who can't, they do what they can. And it all evens out. It all comes around, and that's the way I'm guided to do things. So we don't let money be a barrier to healing and connection in our spirit and spirituality and our souls and our guides and guardians and beautiful magical experiences. I help those who want to help themselves. I help the people who really want to stop being in pain, who really want to start healing, who really want to start experiencing something different in their lives, who really are serious and committed and will show up and engage and do the work. If you're ready to do the work, then I support you. But I've also had people cancel people's memberships and stuff with me because that money's coming in, but they're not showing up and they're not doing the work. And I don't have time for that and the energy for that. You can do that by yourself. You don't need to involve me. And I'm not here to just collect money without people actually doing the work. That's not important to me. What's important to me is that there's an exchange of energy that is balanced, and I get to decide what that is, and I open doors to people who want to help themselves. And if I see that the energy exchange, that they're actually putting in the effort to do what they're supposed to be doing, then that is a part of the energy exchange, because you're not just taking up space in my sacred space. On top of not being able to pay me the minimum, you're also not taking it, you're also not doing the work. You're not going to last long. And even if you do have the money to take up space in my sacred space, and you're still not engaging, that's not balanced energy. You're depleting my energy by taking up space but not doing the work. You see what I'm getting at? So that is a thing that I implemented months ago, but I really never had the chance to put that on my website. I did send it out in an email, and there was just a bunch of stuff that was going on. I had somebody who was helping me, and then she had to stop helping me very suddenly, and then there's all this stuff that happened with me and my home life and changing my environment over the last couple months, that there's many updates, as I have alluded to to my group for months now. There's a lot that has come through, and I cannot wait to share it with you all, because it's just more and more and more, and shifts and shifts and shifts. But it is coming to a place here where I'm going to be able to really have that all out there. And there has not been time to get things solidified, and to even get it put on the website and start even doing stuff with it. It just has there just hasn't been like any time. I literally had to block out like my whole December and into January for the move, so let alone implementing new offerings and really advertising or marketing or whatever, putting it out there that I'm doing this whole thing with not requiring a minimum to join my groups. And I have new offerings that also don't require a minimum. I do have offerings that are very high level that do require a minimum, but I have some other ones that are going to be coming. Not to say that they're not high level, they're just different, and they don't require minimums. So that's very exciting. And then reimagined group stuff, new group stuff that I'm super stoked on. So there's just a lot that's coming. But do reach out if you take a look specifically at the Unstoppable Empath course and membership, because that one's not changing. So that is something that, it's kind of been on hiatus because, like I said, I cut several people out of it that weren't showing up, that weren't doing it. And it basically got down to just a couple people that are still in it, but they just haven't been in the mode of cord cutting. We haven't been doing the meetings for a few months now. But that is definitely going to pick back up because it is an extremely important thing. And, I'm going to be wanting that to get going again. Anyway, but aside from that, I have healing sessions. My rainbow light body healing session is one I recommend to everybody to align, dump a lot of energy, get information, recalibrate, integrate, and it's just a real deep tune-up to the system on all levels, and highly, highly, highly recommended. If you want to really get healing going, if you're in chronic pain, if there's on whatever level, this isn't going to if you have really a lot of serious shit going on, my rainbow light body healing session is not going to make it all go away. Let me just make that clear right now. If you have a lot of serious chronic shit going on, it's going to take some work. It's going to take cord cutting for sure. It's going to take just a lot of boxes being checked. But I have helped people who I had a lot of chronic shit going on that is gone, and I don't have any of that. And I've helped a lot of other people who had a lot of chronic shit going on who don't have any of that anymore either. But it's not a one and done session. But a rainbow light will majorly make you feel better so you can do the other stuff. That's the idea. The more you do, the more you can do. So something that's going to really clean things off and get you feeling much better would be a rainbow light, whether it's headaches, digestive, skin, whatever, joint. You have fibromyalgia, you have anything that's chronic, neurological, autoimmune, chronic fatigue, head fog, whatever the fuck it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Yes, whatever you have. Yes, the answer is yes. Whatever you have. If you have a thing that's wrong with you, I can make you feel much, much, much better, to the point of, depending on what you want to do with me, to feeling all the way better, and not all the way better, to feeling fantastic, energetic, zero pain all the time, and knowing how to keep and sustain it, and learning how to keep and sustain it like that for yourself. 100%. I've done it for many people who are in it to win it and to heal themselves. I'm the guide, I'm the facilitator, I'm the medium, I'm the distance healer to make it all connect and have it go down. I love doing it because there's nothing that I love more than to hear people say to me, I can't believe how good I feel. I can't believe that I don't feel that anymore. I can't believe that I can go and do fill in the blank now, like work. How many people came to me over the years that can't work, who had to go live with their parents or have their spouse completely take care of everything and can barely get out of bed, or, can't go to school, can't go to work, can't live a normal life because they're in so much pain. They're isolated. They've tried everything. Nothing works. It's only getting worse. So many people have come to me in that condition, and so many people came out of it feeling better than they even knew was possible, and spiritually connected. So this is something that is real, and why I'm here to help Divine Incarnates shake off the shit and plug in and live your best life. All right, with that said, I'm going to get going. Thanks for being here, Divine Beautiful One. I'm sending big love to you here from the Trinity River here on January 13th, 2025, Monday. But whenever you were guided to these messages was the divine right time for you. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for being here all the way to the end. I much appreciate it. Also, share my channel with those who you feel would benefit from my content to help people heal and awaken and connect and live their most magical lives. Until next time, Divine Beautiful One, I'm Infiniti. Goodbye for now.